All right, let's dive right in. We're about to tear down some of the biggest myths you've probably ever heard about building discipline. So if you've ever felt like, you just weren't born a disciplined person, then this is for you. And I'm not just talking a little bit wrong. I mean, fundamentally, completely wrong. We all grow up with this idea that disciplined people are just tougher, that they have some secret willpower superpower that the rest of us are missing. But honestly, that's just nonsense. So, here's the absolute game changer. The whole time, we've been fighting the wrong battle. We've been trying to brute force change using willpower, which is kind of like trying to push a car down the highway. What we actually need is an engine, a system that pretty much runs on its own. Okay, first up, let's really dig into why that traditional approach, just trying harder, is almost perfectly designed to fail. It's an exhausting, totally unsustainable way to operate. I mean, come on, does this sound familiar? It's that classic trap so many of us fall into. You start a new gym routine, maybe a new project, and for that first week, you feel absolutely amazing. And then the excuses start to creep in. Before you know it, it's week 4, you've quit, and you're just beating yourself up, convinced you just don't have what it takes. And this right here gets to the absolute heart of the problem. We sit around waiting to feel inspired, but motivation, it comes and goes. It was never ever meant to be your engine. The most successful people out there don't have more motivation than you. They just know better than to rely on it. So, if that's the problem, what's the solution? Where do we even start to build a real system? Well, you stop trying to fight your environment and you start designing it to actually work for you. And look, when we say environment, it's so much more than just your physical space. It's what's on your phone. It's the people you hang out with. All three of these are constantly quietly pushing and pulling your behavior, whether you realize it or not. Just look at how simple and powerful this is. In your physical world, every little bit of friction, every extra step, makes it less likely you'll do something. So by laying out your clothes, you're removing that friction. You're making the good choice almost effortless. It's the exact same idea for reading. Don't rely on your future self to remember to do it. Instead, make that book the most obvious, easiest thing to grab. You're literally engineering your surroundings so the right choice becomes the path of least resistance. Now, this is huge. Instead of just adding good cues, what if you made the bad choices impossible, or at least really, really hard? If you can't focus, don't just put your phone on silent, put it in another room entirely. This isn't a sign of weakness, it's being incredibly smart about how your brain is actually wired. Okay, so let's go a layer deeper now, because true, permanent, lasting change doesn't just come from changing what you do, it comes from changing who you believe you are. Your brain has this incredibly powerful, deep-seated need to be consistent with your self-image. So if you see yourself as someone who isn't a morning person, I promise you, you will always find a way to prove that right, no matter how many alarms you set. So, how on earth do you change that identity? You cast votes. That's it. Every single time you take an action, you're casting a vote for the type of person you want to become. Showing up at the gym, even if it's just for 5 minutes, that's one vote for I am a person who exercises. This question right here can shift everything for you in an instant. Instead of asking, what should I do? You ask yourself, what would a healthy person do right now? And then you just do that. You're not trying to be that person. In that one moment, you simply are that person. All right, let's build on that identity piece with our next pillar, creating systems that run on autopilot. This way, you don't have to constantly drain that very limited battery we call willpower. Think about it like this. Your brain has two basic modes. There's the planning mind. It makes all the big, logical decisions, and it gets exhausted really fast. Then there's the doing mind. It just runs on habit, and it basically never gets tired. The whole goal is to move your important behaviors over to the doing mind, just like brushing your teeth. This is the secret formula, the invisible architecture behind every single habit you have. To build a new one, you need all three parts. You need a trigger, like pouring your morning coffee, the routine, maybe reading one page of a book, and a reward, which can be as simple as the feeling of satisfaction that tells your brain, hey, that was good, let's do it again. And this is your secret weapon, your failure-proof plan. Because let's be real, life happens. You're gonna have bad days. But having an emergency version of your habit means that you never, ever break the chain. It keeps that identity vote alive, and crucially, it maintains your momentum. And finally, let's pull back and reframe what all of this is actually for. Because this isn't about becoming some rigid, boring robot. It's about building the key to genuine freedom. We think of discipline as restrictive, but an undisciplined person isn't free at all, are they? They're a prisoner to every impulse, every passing mood. A disciplined person, on the other hand, makes intentional choices ahead of time, and then they get to enjoy the incredible results. That is what real freedom looks like. So, the big question now is, what's next? It's all about moving from just knowing this stuff to actually doing it. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for the perfect time. What is one tiny, ridiculously small thing you can do today to cast a vote for the person you want to become? And that's really the magic of it all, isn't it? That one small action might feel like nothing today, but that tiny change, when you do it consistently, leads to a transformation that seems absolutely impossible from where you're standing right now. Your only job is to adjust the course, just by 1 degree.